Hey, so I just thought I'd make a quick video kind of describing my experience working at fast food 2023 to 2025, how it goes, and what you can expect from it, especially if you're about my age. You know, you're 16 to 18, maybe 19 years old, and you don't have a lot of job opportunities, and fast food is really the one thing that you can actually apply for a job for and get the job. And so I want to kind of talk through my experience because I am currently working at Chipotle, but I also worked at McDonald's before Chipotle. And I just want to discuss my experience. I'll start out with McDonald's. And let me just say, if you apply for a job at McDonald's, usually there's a couple McDonald's within your city, and if you apply for all of them, you have a very high chance of getting the job. For the job interview, just be confident, okay, speak clearly, answer the questions, try to make a little bit of small talk with the person doing the interview, but not too much to the point where it's ridiculous, you know. And make sure you have a reason as to why you want to work in fast food. And just be honest and be confident. And you go to a couple interviews, you will get the job at McDonald's. It's really not that hard. And just a little side tip when you apply for jobs at McDonald's, say you're available to work online as much as possible, okay? Because if you say you're not available to work every single day of the week, you won't even get to the interview part. They won't even send you an email back. So I lied about my availability, and then I actually told the in person interviewer that I'm actually not available that much because they don't even check. The person doing the interview, in my case, didn't even check the hours I said I would be available. It's an AI automated machine that basically scans your preliminary results in the application. And so it's okay if you lie on the hours available. That's what I did, and that's what got me the job. One of my friends didn't lie, and he was honest that he can only work once a week, and they didn't even get back to him. Now, with that being said, the actual work experience at McDonald's is pretty awful. I was a grill cook, so I would stand in the same spot essentially, in between a grill and a freezer, and I would swap in between and cook burger patties for hours and hours, just standing in the same spot. And it's miserable work. It's easy work, but it is soul crushing. It is absolutely soul crushing. And the pay is minimum wage. You don't have anyone to talk to or have fun with at the job because, at least where I worked at my McDonald's, nobody had the will to communicate. Everyone was dead inside. Nobody wanted to talk. Everybody was there to make their minimum wage, get a little bit of money, and then leave their shift for the day. Nobody cares about socialization or team building. And I perfectly understand that because I didn't care about talking to other people when I worked at McDonald's either, because I hated it. It's miserable standing in place, flipping burger patties for 5 hours in a row, cooking chicken nuggets. When you put the chicken nuggets into the frying oil will squirt back at you, and you'll get like little burns on your forearm, and it just absolutely sucks. It is soul crushing work. It's awful, and I don't recommend it, but it is a good start, and it's where I started out. I only lasted for 4 months at McDonald's before I quit. Okay, it just affected my mental health so much. I could not stand doing that any longer. Not talking to anyone, mindlessly just flipping burger patties. And so, in many ways, I regret leaving McDonald's because I ended up just walking out. I didn't even quit, I just stopped showing up. And I regret doing that. I shouldn't have done that because it probably left a bad record on me. But that's the type of work that you're getting yourself into when you work at McDonald's or Burger King or DQ, any of those fast food places. It is awful work and it is boring work, and you have no friends. The managers aren't your friends because the managers are so strict. They have a big ego because they themselves, honestly, if you're a manager at McDonald's, no offense to you, but you yourself haven't ever really made it that far in life, and so the biggest thing that you have on your record is being manager at McDonald's, and they will use that to their advantage to feel powerful against their basic crew, against their basic employees who are just there to flip burgers, and they will be strict. I remember one day I showed up with white socks instead of black socks. And they did not let me work that day because I was wearing white socks that weren't even visible to the public. What type of BS is that? And they gave me a warning and they gave me this talk like, oh, if this type of stuff happens again, they're gonna have to fire me or put a strike under my name. It's absolutely ridiculous. Who do they think they are? Doing that type of stuff. Being so harsh to employees who I was 17 years old at the time. I mean, come on, give me a break. It was awful. And so I left McDonald's. I couldn't stand it anymore. And I ended up not having a job for about February of 2024 to November. So that's about 7 months. I didn't have a job for about 7 months. So for 7 months, I didn't do anything. And it was kind of a bad time. I was not working on anything. I was just doing school. And eventually, I just couldn't stand it anymore. And I was like, hey, I need to make some money again. I need to get another job. And so I started applying for jobs. I landed myself an interview at Chipotle, Mexican grill. And the interview went very, very well. I basically just talked about myself. I give my past experience, telling the person doing the interview I know how to deal with customers and that type of stuff. And I got the job. I got the job at Chipotle. Now Chipotle is much, much nicer, I gotta say. It's still not work that you want to do for your whole life. It is still a fast food job, and there is still crappy things about it. But everybody is so much more chill at Chipotle and relaxed compared to McDonald's. I mean, the managers, they're strict, but they don't get on your case about silly little things. I have never had the managers complain to me, even when I forgot to wear my Chipotle hat, the hat that I was supposed to wear on the job at all times. The managers didn't even say anything. And so, the working conditions at Chipotle are so much better, but it is still long, grinding work. I mean, I work cashier, and I do the dishes in the back. And doing the dishes is awful, but it is easy. Being on the cashier is not really awful, but it is more difficult because you have to make sure to input the correct thing every single time. And dealing with customers can be an absolute pain in the ass. Okay? These guys think that I, as a cashier, can change the order, get new stuff into the order. And I'm like, no, you have to go to the back of the line to get new stuff. You can't tell me about it. And then it leaves me in the situation where I just put in the wrong order because you said initially this is the order that you wanted. And so now on the little screen where I input the order, it's incorrect because of you, because of your indecision. And so now I have to come get a manager to clear the order. Okay? It is just absolute crap dealing with customers. And I'm not mad at the customers exactly because I understand it. They don't know how the system at Chipotle works. But let me just say, if you work at fast food and you have to actually deal with the customers, if you're working cashier or anything like that, customer service, it gets annoying fast, okay? Because customers, they don't even do things incorrectly necessarily. It just, they don't know how things work. And it'll get on your nerve so freaking bad. And you can't say anything about it. You can't snap out at the customers because then you'll get fired. Even when a customer is genuinely being rude. I mean, I remember one time I had to break up a fight between two customers outside of the Chipotle at nighttime. This was only a couple months ago. It was some old lady and a group of young kids, and they were screaming at each other over some random BS crap that really doesn't need to be argued over. And I had to walk outside and yell at them both to go home, to just drive off. And they did that, luckily. They listened to me. But it's just crap like that you have to deal with in customer service at minimum wage jobs. It gets so annoying so fast. And other days I'll work on the dishes at Chipotle. It's not too bad. It's boring, but you can listen to music. And I like that about it. And honestly, I prefer it. I prefer it over working at the cashier because I don't have to deal with customers. Now, with that being said, this is kind of to anyone working at fast food. Just keep going at it. I upgraded from a terrible fast food place, McDonald's, to a much better fast food place. Still not the place I want to work at necessarily, but it's much, much better. And really, just keep grinding, keep going, okay? If you feel like you're at a dead end, you're not. Just keep trying for new things. Keep pushing through the work, even if the work is hard, and always have a goal in mind. With that being said, peace.